Hi, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining me today for Yoga Inner City's virtual studio class for beginners. My name is Kate, and I'll be leading us through this practice together today. Today's practice is going to focus on balancing the yin and yang qualities within the body. We'll be using power yoga to build an internal fire, and we'll be using yin yoga to give our body an opportunity to release and relax key parts of our body that tend to hold onto stress and tension. Please consult a medical practitioner before engaging in any physical exercise, including yoga, with any questions or concerns. This is particularly important if you are pregnant, nursing, taking medication, or have any pre existing medical conditions. With this yoga practice and with any yoga practice that you participate in, it's important to keep in mind that yoga is your practice, which means it's more important to focus on how each pose feels within the body versus what it looks like on the outside. Even though I will be modeling each of the poses through your screen, your body never has to look like mine or anyone else's. And if at any point in time you feel something that resembles pain, which can sometimes show up as a burning, throbbing, stabbing, tingling, or numbing sensation, that's your body's way of speaking to you. It's telling you that that pose doesn't work for you. You have an opportunity to come out of the pose and try it a different way, perhaps with some props or in a different accommodation, or exit the pose entirely. As you can see, I will be using some props for today's practice, and I am recommending that you do so as well. I'm recommending you have a cleared space in your house, a yoga mat, a blanket, blocks, and a yoga strap if available. And if you don't have a yoga strap, you can use something like a yoga strap. Perhaps you have a belt or a robe tie or a necktie that you can use as well. Okay, with that said, we can begin. I invite you to begin our practice together today by lying on our backs and finding a comfortable reclined position that still enables you to maintain some level of awareness and alertness. So we don't want to put ourselves to sleep right at the start of class. So perhaps you choose a reclined posture where you walk your feet out towards the edges of the mat and allow the knees to rest in on each other, like I am doing here. Or maybe you choose to enter Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly pose by bringing the soles of the feet together and allowing the knees to open up towards the edges of the mat. And if you're choosing this pose and you notice there is some pain or discomfort in the inner lines of the legs, the groin, or the hip flexors, you might be a great candidate to explore putting blocks beneath the knees to create some additional support. Or maybe you're choosing to lie directly on the back with the legs out in front of you, choosing a pose that best serves you, and then you can choose the arm placement as well. Perhaps you're choosing goalpost arms, cactus arms, maybe the hands are up overhead, maybe they're out by your sides, palm facing up or down, resting somewhere on the body or just alongside the body. Again, you get to choose what best serves you today. I invite you to bring that awareness inward and honor what your body is asking for. And then, if it feels comfortable to do so, gently close the eyes. If eyes closed is not comfortable for you, I invite you to find a spot in the room, perhaps on the ceiling that's not moving, and gently soften your gaze around that spot. With these first few natural grounding breaths, I invite you to bring your awareness to whatever is happening on your mat right now. What is your attention drawn to? Are you drawn to a physical sensation? Perhaps where the body makes contact with the mat or the blanket? Or perhaps it's an inward sensation, a part of the body that's asking for a little attention and care today. Maybe it's something emotional, or maybe it's something within the mind, like a thought, pattern, memory, Whatever it is, without trying to manipulate or change your experience in any way, just notice what's here, what's present for you. I invite you to deepen your breaths. If it's helpful, perhaps you choose to place one hand over heart center, one hand over the belly, or leave the hands where they are. On the inhale, breathe in fully and deeply in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. Holding the breath in at the top for a count, feeling fully expanded, moving away from the ground before releasing the breath out through the nose. Releasing from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Feeling the hands sink into the body with the exhale, making the exhale longer than the inhale before beginning again, breathing in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. Holding the breath in at the top for a count before releasing the breath out through the nose from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. Pushing out all the air, really releasing on that exhale before breathing in for the last round of 3-part breath in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest. Holding the breath in at the top for a count, then sipping in a little bit more air, really expanding that rib cage and diaphragm before releasing from the nose, out the nose from the chest, the rib cage, and the belly. When all the air has been released, you can return the hands to where they were before. Bring the awareness back to what's happening on the mat now. If you'd like to set an intention for today's class, you might choose to do so. Perhaps it's something you would like to focus on or a mantra you are working with. I invite you to bring that to your practice if you'd like at this time. And then if your eyes are closed, gently allow the eyelids to flutter open as we carefully bring our feet to the mat from wherever they are, walking the feet towards the edges of the mat and allowing the knees to drop from left to right slowly, imagining the legs are like windshield wipers. On the inhale, take a full body stretch by bringing the arms up overhead, legs out straight in front of you, getting as long and tall as you possibly can on the mat. And on the exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug, give yourself some love. If it feels good to rock from side to side, you might choose to do so. From this rocking, we're going to make our way into a seated position. So if it works best for you to roll onto one side first, I invite you to do that. If you would like to roll forward and back on the spine to eventually bring yourself up to a seated posture, I invite you to do that as well. So making your way into a seated posture in whatever way makes sense for you and your body. We'll enter boat pose. So find where the sit bones make contact with the mat. Notice where you feel that pressure. And then engage the core, grabbing onto the back sides of the thighs. Slowly lower the torso back. And keeping that core engaged is really going to create some heat. It's going to be a core workout here. Leaning back just a little bit will be enough to activate that core. So notice if you feel that, and you can choose to stay right here with your feet on the mat, knees pointed up towards the ceiling. If you're not feeling too much of an internal heat or core workout here and you'd like a little bit more, then I invite you to bring the feet off of the mat, perhaps keeping them in line with the knees, and the hands can come by the sides, palms facing each other. So you choose what best works for you today with the feet on the mat or the feet off the mat, but continue to keep a lift in that chin and chest. Engage that core. Notice what you're feeling here. Notice what emotions are coming up, if any. On the inhale, hug the knees into the chest. Maybe give yourself a little rock side to side, and then we'll enter one more just like that. Again, feet can stay on the mat, or you can raise them off of the mat. Lowering the torso down, engaging the core, tucking that navel up and in. Hands by the sides of the legs, palms facing each other, thumbs towards the ceiling. Notice what the breath is doing. Continue to engage in that 3-part breath if you can. We'll hold it for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, hug the knees into the chest. Give yourself a little rock. And then I invite you to find a comfortable seated posture. Any posture that serves you. Perhaps your legs are crisscrossed. Maybe they're straight out in front of you. If you notice this is too much, sitting directly on the mat, I invite you to elevate the hips above the knees by sitting on a prop like a cushion, maybe a rolled up blanket or a towel. And if you do so, I also invite you to have props on either side of you to elevate the floors for your hand for some of the next postures we'll be doing together. On the inhale, root down through the sit bones as you rise up through the crown of your head, getting nice, long, and tall. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, hands make their way to heart center. Linking the movement to the breath. So on the inhale, the arms are moving for the entirety of the inhale. And on the exhale, the hands begin to make their way to heart center. One more, just like that, going to the pace of your own inhales and exhales. This time as we inhale, both arms come up overhead. And on the exhale, palms face the screen, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you, cactus arms. Notice how this feels in the front of the chest. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, drop the right hand to the mat. Left hand comes over the right side of the body. Breathing into that left rib cage, keeping both sit bones pressed firm in the mat. On the inhale, do a slight lift of the chin and chest so we're not hunching over the mat forward, maybe looking up at the ceiling. Inhale, use that left arm to pull you back up to center as the right comes up to meet the left. Exhale, cactus arms, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together behind you. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, left hand comes to mat, right hand comes up and over the left side body. This time pressing both sit bones in the mat, breathing into the right rib cage, slightly lift the chin and chest, open up the front of the body. Notice how it feels to still engage in that 3-part breath. Inhale, use that right hand to pull you back up to center. Left hand comes up to meet the right. Exhale, cactus arms, squeeze the shoulder blades together, bend at the elbows. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, left hand comes to right knee, right hand comes behind you, gently twisting open to the right. Gazing over that right shoulder. Continuing to breathe deep into the belly. Notice how it feels with the torso in a twist. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, cactus arms, bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, right hand comes to left knee, left hand comes behind you, gazing over the left shoulder, twisting open to the left. Again, continue that 3-part breath, breathing deeply into the belly. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, cactus arms one last time. Bend the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, arms back up to center. And exhale, hands come down by the sides, palms facing the mat, fingertips hovering just slightly above the mat. So we have some tension coming out of those fingertips, some tension running through the arms, active arms. Inhale, lift the chin up towards the ceiling, breathing into the front of the neck. Exhale, drop the left ear to the left shoulder, beginning a slow and big neck circle. Making these as big and as slow as comfortable for you, noticing what's here for you, what is in your neck space and your shoulders. Is there any part of this part of your body that needs some extra care and attention today. And if your body is saying yes, give yourself permission to pause there and breathe into that spot. The next time your chin is up towards the ceiling, pause there, breathing into the front of the neck again. Before exhaling, bringing the right ear to the right shoulder, taking the neck circle the opposite direction. Again, giving yourself permission to breathe into any spot that needs it today. The next time your chin is up towards the ceiling, pause there one last time, breathing into the front of the neck. And then inhale the head up to center. Hands come to knees, shoulder circles to the back. Bringing the shoulders up towards the ears, back down and away from the ears. Shoulder circles the opposite direction, take them to the front. And keeping the hands on the knees, we'll do some torso circles, as big and as slow again as best serves you today. So notice what you notice about the sides of your body, your spine, your core. Any of these seated postures that we do are designed to help bring awareness to what your body is trying to tell you and what your body needs, so you can adjust the rest of your practice accordingly. Take the circles the opposite direction when you're ready. And when you're ready, finding stillness, coming into tabletop position. If you are practicing on a hard surface like I am, I recommend softening the surface using blankets or towels for the knees. In tabletop, knees beneath hips, wrists beneath shoulders. Tuck the rib cage in, sucking the navel in, sliding the shoulder blades down the spine. Notice how this feels to stabilize the posture here. Gazing down in between both hands. Balancing table on the inhale, send the right foot out behind you, flexing the foot, pressing the heel away from the body. Imagine you're pressing the heel into a wall. If you have a wall behind you, it might even help to practice pressing into the wall, activating that leg. Notice if this is enough of a balancing challenge. You can choose to stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more, on the inhale, left arm comes up by left ear, opposite arm, opposite leg. Notice if this is enough of a balancing challenge. You can stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more today, on the exhale, bring the elbow to knee to touch beneath you. Inhale, extend the arm and leg, reach out in opposite directions. Exhale, contract, elbow to knee. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Two more, exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Last one, exhale, contract. And inhale, extend. Exhale, release the left hand to the mat and slowly release the right knee. Notice how that right arm and left leg feel compared to its opposite counterpart. Before doing the other side, shift the weight ever so slightly into that left palm. We'll do thread the needle. If it's helpful, you might choose to put a block beneath that left palm to create some more space between you and the floor. Inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. The head follows the hand. Exhale, swoop that right arm under, reaching towards the left edge of the mat. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right arm under. One more. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, right arm under. Now you have the option to shift the weight into the right shoulder here, placing the right cheek to the mat. You can choose to walk that left hand forward, reaching towards the top of the mat. The hand can be on a block or directly on the mat, or you can choose to put the hand on the left hip or reach the left arm up to the sky. So you choose a position that best serves you today, and then relax the right shoulder. Gently shift the weight ever so slightly into that right hip. Wherever that left hand is, bring it back to the mat in front of your face. Inhale, shift the weight into that left hand to press yourself back into table. Balancing table on the opposite side. Inhale, send that left foot out behind you, pressing the heel away from the body, flexing the foot, active leg. Notice if this is enough of a balancing challenge. Suck that navel up and in, wrap the rib cage around the spine. You can choose to stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more, inhale, right arm up by the ear, opposite arm, opposite leg. Active arm reaching for that wall in front of you. If this is enough of a balancing challenge, stay right here. If you're looking for a little bit more, on the exhale, bring the elbow to knee to touch beneath you. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. 2 more. Exhale, contract. Inhale, extend. Last one. Exhale, contract. And inhale, extend, and hold it here for a moment before exhaling, releasing the right palm to the mat and the left knee to the mat. Thread the needle on the left side. Same thing, you can have the right hand directly on the mat, or you can use a prop to create some more space. On the inhale, reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, swoop it under the body, reaching towards the right edge of the mat. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm under. One more. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm under. This time you have the option to add some weight to the left shoulder. Keep bringing the left cheek to the mat. You can keep the right hand where it is, or you can extend it out towards the top of the mat. You can bring the right hand to the hip, or you can bring the right hand up towards the ceiling. So same thing on this side. You have the option to choose. Wherever you are in your version of the pose, relax the right shoulder and gently shift the weight into the left hip ever so slightly. Wherever your right hand is on the inhale, bring it to the mat in front of the face. Add some weight to that palm to press yourself back into table. Curl the toes on the hips up to the sky, downward facing dog. Take a moment here to walk out the legs by bending one knee at a time or both knees at the same time. Bring in the awareness to how the backside of the body feels. Finding stillness in down dog, pressing down through all 4 corners of both palms and the front 2 points of the feet. The option here is to bend the knees, pressing the rib cage towards the direction of the top of the thighs to help create some more extension in the spine. Inhale, look at your hands. Exhale, walk your feet to your hands, ragdoll. Feet about hip width distance apart. Generous bend in the knees as you allow the head and torso to hang heavy over the legs. If it feels good to grab opposite elbows, you might choose to do so. If it feels good to rock from side to side, you might also choose to do so. Finding stillness in ragdoll. Exhale, release the hands to the mat. And on the inhale, press down through all 4 corners of the feet to rise to stand up, rolling up as slow as you possibly can. Before coming to stand at the top of your mat in Tadasana, mountain pose, feet parallel, they can be together or any distance apart that best serves your body. I invite you to bring the hands by the sides, palms facing forward. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Pressing down through all 4 corners of the feet as you elongate the spine, drawing the crown of the head up towards the ceiling and bringing the awareness back into what's happening on the mat right now. Maybe you check in with yourself physically. What do you notice now? Maybe you check in with yourself emotionally. Maybe you check in with yourself mentally. We'll begin our standing sequence on the inhale. The arms come up overhead. The head follows the hands. Exhale, hands make their way to heart center. 2 more just like that, relinking the movement to the breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Last one, inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. On the inhale, just the left hand comes up towards the ceiling. Really reach it up towards the ceiling as you root down through all 4 corners of each foot. As you exhale, take it over towards the right edge of the mat. The right hand on the hip can help support you from not going too far over. Inhale, left arm back up to center. Switch those hands out. Right hand comes up overhead. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, take that right hand up and over the left side body. Inhale, back up to center. Left hand comes up to meet the right. You can choose to keep the hands by the sides. Maybe you choose to squeeze a block between the hands, or you can interlace the fingers. Release the pointer tip finger, reach the fingers up towards the ceiling. Grow nice, long, tall through the torso, and then exhale, take it back a little bit. Even if you look up at the ceiling, micro back bend. Exhale, forward fold. Round over the legs, bend the knees. We're going to pulse here for a little bit. Root down through all 4 corners of the feet as you inhale. Halfway lift. Hands can be on the mat, blocks, shins, or thighs. As you lift the chin and chest, look forward. Lock out the knees, the elbows. Exhale, forward fold. Round over the legs. Bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. One more just like that. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Press down through all 4 corners of the feet as you rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, hands make their way to heart center. I invite you to come to the top of your mat into Tadasana, mountain pose. Feet parallel, together or apart, your choice. Chair pose. Inhale, arms up as you sink the hips back. Keep reaching those arms up above. Engage the inner thighs here. And if that's hard to do, you might choose to place a block between the knees or squeeze the knees together, but create a little gap between the heels. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, halfway lift. Again, hands can be on mat, shins, thighs. Lift the chin and chest, look forward. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up, reverse swan dive. And exhale, hands come to heart center. One more just like that, just taking it one step further. Inhale, chair pose, arms up, sink the hips back. Bring the hands to heart center. We're keeping our chair pose where it is. Shift the weight into the left leg. And on the exhale, take that right leg back behind you. Crescent lunge. Engaging the core helps us maintain our balance throughout our entire practice. Continue to build that heat right in our core center. For crescent lunge, the left leg is forward and bent, right leg is behind you and straight, or you can have a micro bend if you're feeling any tension in the top of the right thigh. Pressing down through the top 2 points of the right foot behind you. Inhale, both arms come up towards the ceiling. Exhale, cactus arms, bend those elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the chin. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, drop the right heel to the mat. Coming into warrior 2. Hips are now open towards the right edge, the long right edge of the mat. Gazing over the left fingertips. Feeling your power in this stance here. Gently press that knee over towards the pinky toe, over towards the left edge of the mat. Feeling those 4 corners of each foot rooted firmly in the mat. We're going to do some pulsing here. On the inhale, arms come up overhead, straighten the left knee. Exhale, sink back, warrior 2. 2 more, just like that. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, warrior 2. One more. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. And exhale, warrior two, gazing over those left fingertips. Inhale, flip the left palm up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach the left hand up towards the ceiling, grow nice and long and tall. You can choose to stay right here, or you can exhale and take a micro bend over towards the back side of the mat for a peaceful warrior or reverse warrior. That right hand can be on the thigh to support you, or it can be resting on your low back. No matter where you are, engage the core. Inhale, lifts the torso back up to center. Exhale, left elbow comes to left knee or to a block as you reach the right arm up overhead. Extended side warrior. Wrap that right shoulder down. Internally rotate the arm, reach it away from the body. Inhale, back up to warrior two, gazing over those left fingertips. Straighten the left knee. Triangle pose, press the hips as far back as you possibly can as you reach those left fingertips as far forward as you possibly can. And then hinge at the waist, bringing the left hand either to your thigh, your shin, inside the left ankle, or a block. Stacking the right shoulder on top of left, squeezing the shoulder blades together, reaching those arms in two opposite directions. Engage the core. Notice what the breath is doing. Inhale, bend that left knee, pressing yourself back into warrior two. Gazing over the left fingertips, straighten the left knee, bring the left toes so they're parallel with the right. Feet are ideally wider than the hips, any amount that feels comfortable to enter a wide-legged forward fold. I have a block in front of me. I invite you to have a block or a piece of furniture in front of you if you need it. Hands to hips. Exhale, hinge at the waist, but keep a lift in the chin and the chest. Continue to look forward, maintaining that neutral spine. And when you start to feel the mild to moderate stretch behind the backside of the legs, the hamstrings or the calves, pause there, and then bring your hands down to a prop, bringing the floor up to you. So we don't want to overdo this and overextend. We want to be mindful of what our body is telling us and pause there. Perhaps you have two blocks in front of you, one for each hand. You can choose to stay right here as you press down through all four corners of the feet. Notice if your weight is shifted more so into the heels or more so into the toe mounds, and see if you can balance between all four of those points with the weight evenly distributed. Again, you can choose to stay right here, or if you would like to engage in a little bit of a twist, press that left hand into the block or the mat. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm down. Inhale, right arm up. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, left arm down. Bring the hands to the hips. Generous bend in the knees as you maintain that lift in the chin and chest. Bring your torso back to an upright position. Turn the right toes out, facing the backside of your mat, coming into warrior two with the right leg, bending the right leg, the right knee, move, press that left knee towards the right edge of the mat, towards that right pinky toe. Notice where the four corners of your feet press down through the mat. Gazing over the right fingertips, we're going to pulse here. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. One more. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, flip the right palm. Inhale, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale it over the left leg ever so slightly. Peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. The left hand can be helping support you by holding on to the thigh, or you can bring it to the low back behind you. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, right elbow comes to right knee, left arm comes up overhead. Extended side warrior. Inhale, press back to warrior two, gazing over those right fingertips. Straighten the right knee, pop the hips as far back as they'll comfortably go. Reach that right hand as far forward as it will comfortably go. Trikonasana, triangle pose. Hinge at the waist. Bringing the right hand towards the direction of the right foot. You can hold on to the thigh, the shin. The hand can be on a block, or you can be resting it right in front of the right ankle. So many variations as you stack the left shoulder on top of right. Inhale, press the right foot into the mat, bending the right knee, returning to warrior two. Straighten the right knee, bring the right toes so they are parallel with the left. But this time our toes are going to continue to point out towards the corners of the mat. So our heels are facing each other, toes are pointing away from each other. Feet are wider than the hips. Inhale, both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, goddess pose, bending the knees and the elbows at the same time. Imagine you're sliding down a wall behind you, tucking that tailbone under. Ideally, keeping the shoulders in line with the hips. Pressing the knees away from each other, so trying to press them towards the back corners of the mat. Really feel the power of this pose. Exhale, bring the hands to both knees. You have the option to stay here, or if you'd like to engage in a twist, exhale, drop the left shoulder as you look over the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop the right shoulder, look over left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop the left, look over right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, drop the right, look over left. Inhale, back to center. Return to goddess pose, bringing the arms back to cactus. Pressing those knees away from each other towards the back corners of the mat. Keep telling yourself you can do this. Notice what the body, the mind is doing in this moment. You have the opportunity to reset that by telling yourself you can. Staying present. You got this. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling as you straighten the knees. Feel the release in that pose. Exhale, turn the right toes back to the back edge of the mat, returning to warrior two, gazing over those right fingertips. Exhale, come into crescent lunge, bringing that left hip with you. So now our hips are squared towards the back, small edge of the mat. Pressing down through all four corners of the right leg, the ball point and the pinky toe are pressing down with the right leg behind you. If you need to take a micro bend in that left knee, you can. Notice how this feels in the body. Engage the core. Exhale, cactus arms. Bend the elbows. Lift the chin. Squeeze shoulder blades. Inhale, arms back up to center. Exhale, press off the left foot, coming into chair pose. Sinking the hips back, reaching the arms up. Squeezing the inner thighs together. And inhale, come to stand. Tadasana, hands at heart center. Notice how your body is feeling. Notice what you notice about your heart rate and your lungs. Are there any sensations in the extremities, the hands, the feet? Just notice what's here. Then we'll begin to make our way down onto the mat for the yin portion of our class. Returning to the top of our mat. Inhale, arms up, look up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, round over the legs, bend the knees. Inhale, step back to plank. Knees can be off the mat or on the mat, your choice. But wherever you are in plank, tuck that tailbone under, suck the navel up and in, press up and into the shoulder blades. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, drop the knees, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, slide the elbows forward beneath the shoulder blades, coming into Sphinx pose. Palms flat on the mat, tops of the feet on the mat. For Sphinx, because we are doing this with the intention of a yin practice, which is to stress the deeper connective tissue of the target area for an extended period of time, we would like to relax the target area. So relax the legs, relax the belly, relax the glutes, and notice what you feel in the low spine. If this is too intense of a sensation, walk the fingertips forward any amount, reducing the extension in the spine until you feel a mild to moderate stress. And if shoulders, elbows beneath shoulders, is not giving you enough of a sensation, you have the option to bring the elbows and the forearms to blocks, which will create a little bit more extension. So positioning yourself in a way in this pose where you can target the low spine, but still maintain a mild to moderate threshold of sensation. If we don't have that mild to moderate sensation, then we're in more of a restorative practice, which is completely fine if that is what you are choosing to do. But just know that the deeper connective tissue beneath or around the muscle. And if you have too intense of a sensation, you could be creating harm in the target area by overstressing it. So we want to try to find the Goldilocks zone, for lack of a better word, for each of our target areas within our yin poses. Spine tends to be an area that we hold stress in. It's also a common area for weakness as we age, particularly with bone density. So by engaging in gentle practices that mildly stress the area, it actually can help us increase the strength of the tissues in this area, increase the density of our bones over time. On the exhale, lower the torso all the way down to the mat, bringing either cheek to touch. You choose. Hands down by the sides. Completely relax the belly and the legs. Notice any sensations in the low spine. It's common when we exit a pose after maintaining it for an extended period of time for the target area to feel weak or vulnerable. So we use these resting phases as resonance poses to allow the target area to regain its normal sensation. And when it feels like the low spine has regained its normal sensation for your body, you may choose to bend the knees and rock the feet from left to right, windshield wiping those legs once more. Exhale, bring the feet back to the mat. Hands return beneath the shoulders. On the inhale, tuck those elbows in, engage the arm muscles to press into tabletop. If you need to re-cushion the surface for your knees, you might choose to do so. From tabletop, we'll be entering puppy pose or heart melting pose, keeping the hips where they are. Walk the hands forward, bringing the forehead towards the direction of the mat. If the forehead doesn't comfortably come to the mat, you have a bunch of options. You can bring a prop beneath it and allow it to rest on a prop. You can bring hands beneath the forehead. You can sink your hips over your heels to bring the forehead down to the mat. But just know if you do that, you might be reducing the amount of extension in the spine and in the arms. Walking the hands forward if it's comfortable to do so, palms on the mat. On the exhale, relax every muscle you possibly can. Notice if you're clenching between the shoulder blades or the belly or the thighs. The intention of puppy pose or heart melting pose is to open up the shoulders, open up the chest. May also be a mild spine opening as well, spinal extension. So notice how your target areas on your body feel for this pose, and then with every exhale, give yourself permission to soften a little bit more. Again, as a reminder, you want to ensure there's no pain. So as you soften, if you begin to notice painful sensations, that can be your body's way of saying, you're too deep within the pose, come out of it a little bit, use props to support you. Ideally, finding a version of this pose where it does feel safe and comfortable to soften. If you are comfortable here, you can choose to stay right here. If you would like to try a different variation of puppy pose, I invite you to flip the palms towards the ceiling, externally rotating the arms. Notice how this feels, how this changes the posture. If you notice, you begin to engage the muscles in the shoulders. See if you can give yourself permission to relax those muscles safely and comfortably. And if you can't, you can choose to come out of the pose. You can choose to stay here, or if you'd like another variation, I invite you to bend the elbows, bringing the hands towards the back of the shoulder space or the neck space or the head, wherever they come into contact with the body, if they do, just in that general direction. Notice how this shift changes the pose, and where you feel it in the shoulders, the upper spine, the chest. On your next exhale, wherever your arms are, carefully return them to the mat with the palms face down. On the inhale, add some weight to those palms to slowly press yourself back into table, bringing the knees towards the hands, coming into a seated posture only to make our way onto our backs. Slowly and safely, I am changing the position of my my blanket so that it supports the entirety of my spine. So notice if that's something you feel you need to do as well. And then I'll also be having my yoga strap handy for the next few poses together. But for now, once you get to your back, maybe you choose to have the knees resting on each other, widening the stance of the feet. Maybe you're choosing to lie with the feet straight, the legs straight on the mat. Just taking a moment to bring your awareness to the upper spine, the shoulders, the chest, noticing any sensations that might be there. see if you can stay present for the sensations as they may change throughout time, especially as we come out of a pose and enter a resting phase. And once it feels as though it's the target areas regain normal sensation, we'll prepare for our next pose, which is a variation of um, standing. Well, we're reclined, but standing hand to foot pose, but we'll be doing it with a yin intention. So instead of being active, we will be passive and we will be holding it for an extended period of time to target the deeper connective tissue of each leg. So with the feet flat on the mat, knees pointed up towards the ceiling, on your inhale, hug the right knee in towards the chest. And take your strap or your belt or your tie, whatever you are using, and place it in the middle of the right foot. So we're not on the toes, we're not on the ball of the foot, we're not on the heel of the foot, we're directly in between, right where the arc of the foot is. And once you have your strap safely secured there with either hand, both hands holding either side of the strap, on the inhale, extend the leg to a straight position. And everybody would look different if we were in a class together, because some people's extended position might be very close to the mat and some people's extended position might be very close to their head. It completely depends on your body. So I invite you to not analyze that and just keep your leg in a straight position wherever it is and use the straps to support that leg. If you feel stable and comfortable, then you might explore straightening the left leg. Notice how the back side of the right leg feels, how the right hamstring and calf feel. And because we are doing this with a yin intention, I invite you to relax that right leg as much as possible using the straps to support the leg. So you can even play with it. Like, notice if you let the straps go, would the leg fall? And if it would, that's great. That's what we're looking for this particular intention of the pose. Right hand. Bring the left hand down by the side, palm facing the mat. Use this hand as support. On the exhale, very slowly bring the right leg over towards the left side of the mat. You can use that strap to support the leg. When you feel the mild to moderate stress in the inside line of the leg, you can pause, or you can rest it on a prop like a block or a cushion. Notice if we're engaging that thigh, and if we are, see if you can safely relax it. Inhale, use the yoga strap to bring the foot back to center. Bring both straps into the left hand now. Right hand comes down by the side, palm facing down. Exhale, bring the right foot over towards the left edge of the mat. So now we're coming into a little bit of a twist. Same thing on this side. If it's too much on the outside of the right hip or possibly the right hamstring, you can rest that foot on a prop like a cushion or a block. Or you can continue to control the pose using the yoga straps in the hand. But wherever you are, see if you can safely and comfortably relax the right leg. And if you can, you might choose to explore an arm position that feels best for you. Maybe you bring the right arm out by your side, maybe cactus arm. You can explore palm up or palm down, gazing over the right shoulder or the left, finding a version of this pose that best serves you. Inhale, bring the right hand over to meet the left and use the right hand to pull the strap to bring the leg back to center. And on the exhale, we'll rebend that right knee, bringing the knee into the chest, removing the strap from the right foot. And exhale, extend the right leg out to meet the left. Taking a moment to pause here, notice what you notice about the right leg compared to the left. Bringing your awareness to any sensations that may be the same or different between the two legs. And when the right leg feels as though it's regained normal sensation, we'll rebend both knees, bringing the feet flat to the mat. Inhale, hug the left knee into the chest. Taking the yoga strap, placing it in the middle of the left foot. Same thing on this side, right in the middle of that foot is the best place for it. And on the inhale is straighten the left leg, using the straps to support the leg wherever your straight leg is. So again, if your straight leg is just hovering above the mat, that's perfectly fine. Use the straps to support you. If your straight leg has your toes almost over your head or over your head entirely, that's great too. Use the strap to support you. If you feel stable and comfortable here, then on the exhale, extend the right leg down onto the mat. Relaxing that left leg, notice what you notice about the backside of this leg, keeping that leg entirely passive. Taking both of the straps into the left hand on the exhale, allow the left leg to move over towards the left edge of the mat. Same thing on this side. You can rest that foot on a prop if it's too intense on the inside line of the leg, or you can continue to use the straps to control that experience. Ideally, looking for a mild to moderate sensation in the inside line of the leg that doesn't activate the leg. We want to keep the leg passive, allowing time and gravity to do the work for us. On the inhale, reach that right arm over to grab the strap and use the right hand now to safely move the left foot across the body over towards the right edge of the mat, coming into a little bit of a twist. But the intention here is more so on the left outside of the hip, the outside of the left leg, and the outside of the left hip. If you need to place that foot on a prop, you can. Once you have version of the low is completely relaxed, controlling the experience with the props that you have available to you, then you can choose to play with the upper body placement, maybe coming into cactus or extending the left arm out by the side, palm up, palm down, gazing over the left shoulder or the right. Again, opportunity to listen to your body, what it's asking for. of the body, grabbing onto the yoga strap, and use the left hand to carefully return the left foot back to center. Exhale, hug that left knee into the chest, removing the yoga strap. And when you're ready, extend the left leg to meet the right. Pausing for a moment to bring your awareness to any sensations in the legs. And then when the legs feel as though they regain normal sensation, you have the option and the opportunity to engage in any pose that your body feels it needs today before entering Shavasana. And if you are ready for Shavasana, I invite you to come to a pose that best serves you for rest and relaxation. Maybe you choose to enter the same pose you began class with today. Maybe you choose an entirely different pose, lying flat on the mat, resting the knees in towards each other, or Supta Baddha Konasana, or three of the options we began class with, but feel free to engage in any variation of Shavasana that is calling to you today. And if it's comfortable to do so, gently close the eyes, giving your body permission to release and relax, beginning with the legs, the feet and the legs, allowing them to rest heavy where they are, relaxing the belly, relaxing the shoulders, the arms, and the hands, allowing them to rest heavy where they are. Relaxing the neck and the head and all of the muscles on the face, including the tongue, jaw, the eyes, and the eyebrows. Feeling completely supported by the earth beneath you as you receive the benefits from today's practice. When you are ready, taking a full deep inhale in through the nose, filling the belly, the rib cage, and the chest with breath. Notice any sensations that may enter the body with the breath. Releasing the breath whenever you're ready, and begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes, bringing slow and gentle movements back into the body. Maybe rocking the head from left to right slowly. If you're in Supta Baddha Konasana or reclined butterfly pose, carefully bring the knees together, feet flat on the mat. When you're ready, rolling into fetal position on a side of your choice. Pausing there for a moment, keeping the eyes closed if it's still comfortable to do so. And from fetal position, pressing yourself into a comfortable seated posture. Pressing sit bones into the mat, bringing hands to heart center, elongating the spine. Taking a moment to connect to what's happening on the mat now, physically, emotionally, mentally. Closing out our practice by honoring each other and ourselves. May our practice be of benefit to you and to all of those around you. Thank you very much for sharing your practice with me. I bow in gratitude of each of you. Thank you, everyone.